Alright, welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we'll be discussing about tangency. This lesson is brought to you courtesy of Daniel Math Academy. Alright, so at the end of this lesson, so what you're going to learn is that you'll be able to give definition of a tangent. Would be also able to learn and to explain the principle of tangency. We'll move from there, and then we would also be discussing and how to demonstrate the constructions of tangent. How can we construct several kinds of tangent? And then from there, we'll move on to apply the principle of tangency to drawing problems. Okay, blending lines and curve, and then how to mutually connect tangential circles both internally and externally. Alright, so at the end of today's lesson, we would be able to do this. Alright, we should do this, and this. So I would like you to stay put to the end of the lesson, and then we're going to try out our hands. So this course, at the end of this course, you should be able to apply this concept in producing similar shapes. Also, this curves tangent is also used to produce this, and then also this course will help you to produce this kind of drawing also. So I'm going to do this in another video, but let's begin with the basics. So as we start with the basics, so what is tangent? What is a tangent? We define a tangent as a straight line which touches a circle. A tangent is a straight line which touches a circle at the point of tangency. At the point of tangency, without intersecting it. At the point of tangency, any radius formed at a right angle, any radius forms a right angle with the tangent. So what we mean by this is that a tangent is a circle. Okay, any line that is drawn to touch a circle. So let me quickly draw a circle. All right, so let's quickly draw a circle. So let me quickly draw a circle. So let me bring this here. All right, now I want to draw a circle. All right, so let's reduce the size, and I have this. Okay, so now let me pick the color. Pick this color. It's a black. Okay, and then I'm going to draw the circle at this point. All right, so let's draw this circle. All right, now having done this, we can now go ahead to define what we mean by a tangent. That a tangent is a line. Okay, a tangent is any line that is drawn. So let's go back and look at it. A tangent is a straight line which touches the circle at the point of tangency. So at the point of tangency, we're looking at drawing something similar to this. So any line that touches to the circle at this point, so this could be seen as a tangent. Okay, any line that crosses the circle at this point. A tangent could also be drawn from this point. Okay, so we could draw a tangent also from this point, and we can also draw a tangent also from this point. The tangent will come from any of these points, but it touches the circle. Okay, now so we've seen here that this line that crosses the circle are all called tangent. Hence, we've seen that at the point of tangency, so these are the point of tangency. So let me use this point. Okay, now these are the point of tangency. So you see this point right here where this line touches. So we could call this point the point of tangency. Okay, and this point also, where this circle touches this point, any point here is the point of tangency. Likewise, we also have here, this can be a point of tangency. All right. Now, hence we are told that any line that is drawn from that point of tangency forms a right angle triangle. So hence, what we mean there is that any line that is drawn from there, okay, forms any line drawn from that point forms a right angle triangle. All right. So let's assume that there is a point from here down to this point in the circle, or down to this point. Okay. Now you see here that we have a right angle triangle formed at this point. You see here we already have a right angle triangle that is formed at this point. Okay. So this is what we mean by having a tangent. So at this point, we already have a right angle triangle formed here. Alright, so if I decide to draw another line from this, to draw another tangent, okay, from this point, and this tangent now is crossing from this point to any point here, alright, from this point to any point here on the circle. So we could see that another tangent is being formed at this corner. So this is another tangent that is being created, another angle 90. So this is the essence of what we can see from this diagram. Let's move on from this. Okay, what is the principle involved in drawing tangents? In geometrical construction, it is common to join arcs with straight lines, or we're joining arcs with arcs. It's common to join arcs with straight line, okay, or we're joining arcs to arc. Okay, now to do this accurately, we require the knowledge of principle of tangency. All right, now let's begin by looking at a typical example. All right, so from here we'll have this, that the essence of this drawing is to join two arcs externally. We want to join two arcs externally. All right, so to draw this, we have to draw an arc of given radius to touch a second arc. So what we're looking at, we have to draw an arc, okay, of given radius. We know the radius of the arc, okay, and then we know the radius of the two circles. This is circle 1, this is circle 2, circle A and circle B. Now we know this radius is given. The radius for this first circle, circle A, is 20. The radius for the second circle, circle B, is 25. Now the radius of the arc is also given to us as 40 here. So the radius of the arc is known, and we know the distance between circle A and circle B is also given to us in this question as, so we'll look at the question now. So this question is, assume that the radii of the given circles are 20 and 25 millimeters spaced with 85 millimeters apart, and that the radius of the to touch the circle is 40 millimeters. So let's go ahead to construct this. So you just follow me through, and then let's take it step by step. All right, we're going to take it step by step to begin to do this. So the first step you're going to do is that we're going to draw a line AB, which is 85 millimeter apart. So let's get that done. Okay, 85 millimeter apart. So now I'm going to get my ruler. So let me quickly get my ruler here. Okay, so this line, let me take it up. Now I'm going to take my pencil, okay, and draw 85. So let me start from 1. I want to center this, so let me start from 3. Okay, 85 is going to go from here. This is 2, this is 30 millimeter, 40 millimeter, 50 millimeter, 60 millimeter, 70 millimeter, 80 millimeter, and then we have here to be 85. So this is where I'm going to stop. Okay, so I'm going to stop at this point. This is my 85. Okay, now I'm going to label this point. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to mark this point and then label them. So this is my point A, Okay, this is my point A. This is my point A. Okay, and this is my point B. All right, so I'm going to call this point A. I'm going to call this point B. All right, now at this point A, I have to draw a circle of radius 20. At point A, we'll have to draw a circle of radius 20. Okay, so let's quickly pick this. So let me bring my protractor. So radius 20, I'm starting from this point, from 0. So radius 20 will be reduced to this point. Okay, so I have to look at to join that to radius 20. Okay, so now let me measure 20, but let's take note, we have a little challenge down here. The least this point can go is 2.5. Okay, but I'll assume that my circle now is, I'm gonna assume here that my circle, the first circle A, is equals to 25 millimeter, and then we're gonna assume that circle B, okay, is equals to 30 millimeter. Okay, is equals to 30 millimeter. All right, now so let's take that, have that at the back of our mind. So now I'm done with this. So let's go ahead to pick this circle. So let's pick this up to draw at this point. Okay, so what I'm going to have here is that my circle is going to be in this nature. So I have this. Okay, I have this circle now, which is 25. Take note, I said why we're using 25 is because our compass cannot go less than 25. Okay, so I have this point, and then I'm going to move this over here to the second part of the circle to draw the second part of the circle, which is 30 millimeters. So what you're going to do is, after you've drawn your circle, now take the tip of this your protractor of your compass. Okay, now let's get it again over here. So I'm going to take it at this point, keep the edge, okay, the pin at point B, and then let's reduce this. Okay, so you can see the number over there, but if you don't want to do that, what you need to do is to bring it down here to put the pin at 0, and then extend where you have your pencil. This other point is where you have your pencil. Extend, open wide your pencil. Okay, open your pencil up to point 3. Okay, this is 3, so this point is 30 millimeter. Then once that is achieved, you can move it over to the point of at point B, stand at point B, and then with your pencil already open to that, now let's draw the second part of the circle. Okay, so we'll draw the second part of the circle so this is the second part of the circle. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to take this off my screen. Okay, so let me get rid of this. Now with our ruler still here, now we've gotten this part. What we need to do now is to apply this principle. The first circle was given as 20 here, but we are using 25 now. Take note of that, we are using 25 here. So this is 25 for us. Okay, we are using 25 here. It's going to be 25 plus, let's also increase this 40, so say 50. Okay, so let's use 50, and that will give us 70. Now, but if you're doing this, I will advise you to use the normal distance that is given to us, 20. Okay, do this using 20. I told you guys that I can't draw my digital circle here with less than 20. Okay, the maximum I can draw is 25. You saw that, so use yours. I'm just demonstrating this for you. All right, so what you're going to do is that this is 25 plus 50. Okay, so let's use 50. Let's see how our drawing is going to come up. This will give us 70 millimeter. Here we're going to use same thing. Okay, there's going to be 30 millimeter now, which is our second circle B. Okay, it's going to be 30 plus 40. So you add it to the radius, you add it to the radius that is given to you. Okay, in this case I will assume that my radius given to me is 50 millimeter. All right, so you add the radius of A, which is 20, so this becomes 20 plus 40, which is the radius. Okay, and that's how we get 60, and this becomes 25 plus 40, so this will give us 65 millimeter, and this will give us 60 millimeter. So once we've done the circle, now what we're going to do is that we're going to come back again with our protractor to continue the next section. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get my compass again, and then I'm going to measure off the new distance that I have. So you remember that what we had was that we did 20 plus 50. Okay, so what we did here was 20, 25 plus 50, that gave us 75. Okay, and that gave us 75 millimeter. Okay, now so I'm going to do measure 75 from here. So this is my 0. Take my pin, mark it off. Okay, from 0 here. Or you could also do this by but this is the best method I advise you to do. We're going to extend this up to 75. So this is 70 and this is 75. Okay, so this is 75. So once you can see that here, 7.5 centimeter is equivalent to 75 millimeter. Okay, so the ruler has 2 points. You can use this millimeter. If you're using the millimeter range, you have to extend it to 75 millimeter. If you're using the centimeter, it has to be 7.5 centimeter. So I'm going to pick this up and then bring it over here, put my pin at point A, and then I'm going to swipe this over. So I'm just going to move this first of all. Rotate this first of all. Then when I get to somewhere here, I'm now going to draw. Okay, I'm going to draw at this point with a very faint line. So let me use another line just to help us to know what we're dealing with. Okay, so at this point I'm going to draw my arc. So my arc is going to be red, just to let us know. Okay, so I make an arc up to this point from here, and then once that is done, I'm going to move over to point. So I'll come back again to I have to move this over again back. So please, sorry for that. I'm going to move this back to point 0. Okay, move this back to 0. Then come back again. Now let us measure the second part. The second part of this measurement gives us 30 plus 50, and that gives us 80 millimeter. Okay, so 80 millimeter or 8.5. So what I'm going to do now is to move this from here to move this, extend this up to 8. So you open up your compass. Okay, open up your compass to 80. This is 80. I have 80 at this point. Once you've gotten that point, move your compass to point B. Move your compass to point B, and then you now have to bring up your distance to, so you can start. So bring your pencil. You can start from this point. You can start from this point, and then what we're going to do is that we're going to cut again. All right, so we're going now. We're going to make an arc here. Sorry, make it lighter. Move over back here. Then now at this point we're going to make an arc here. So from this point I'm going to make an arc, and the arc cuts at this point. So now I have this point, point C. I'm going to label this point as my new point, point C. Okay, so this is my point C. Alright, so since I've done this, now what I'm going to do now is to come back and then use the radius that was given. So I'm going to measure the radius that was of the arc, which is 50 in this case. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this point and then move my distance up to this point so that I can measure my 50. So I'm going to put this back to straight line and then move it over here. Sorry, let me do this again and bring this over here, please. I always want to start from my pin. In this case, this is my pin. So you are using your macet, please use digital pen. That's why you have all of these things this way. So I'm going to put my pin at point 0, and then with my pencil at this other tip, this is my pin on my compass. My pencil is attached in this other tip. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw this to 80. Okay, we're using 50. So I'm going to move this to 50 millimeter. Okay, so this is 50 millimeter, and then at this point I want to change my distance to thick line. Okay, because we have to ensure that we have the thickness we need. So I'm putting it at point C, put my pin at point C. Please ensure that that is done properly. Okay, and then I'm going to move this over. So let's have this arc. Okay, so the arc touches this point, so this is where I want. Okay, so it means that I'm going to turn my arc to draw this way. So you see that it's touching at this point, and then it comes to touch also at this very point. Hence at this point I'm going to stop because I've gotten what I want. Okay, so this is what I want to do from here, as we have seen. Okay, all right, so that being said and done, I now have this point. So I'm going to come back. So we've gotten this part. So this is the shape that we've made, and voila, we have this. Okay, so you could come back and decide to make this circle stick, but we're going to achieve that once we're done with everything. So this is how to make this drawing. First step, draw the circle. Okay, with given radius, draw circle B. Before that, you have to draw line AB. Line AB was given to us as 85 millimeter. So draw the line AB first of all. That what I did, A and B. So 85 millimeter. Once I did that, I came back to point A, and then I drew a circle of with radius 25 millimeter. I came to point B and I draw a circle with radius 30 millimeter or 3 centimeter. Okay, on your ruler. All right, so when you look at your ruler have two calibration. Please, this is my digital ruler, but you could see this is measured in 1 2 3. Okay, this is in centimeter, but if you want to convert it to millimeter, you see the other part here where you see 10 20 30 40. So it's the same thing, but just the difference is that one is in millimeter, the other is in centimeter. All right, so we remember another rhyme that 10 millimeter 10 millimeter equals to 1 centimeter. Okay, so we have that conversion factor here. We have that conversion factor here that 10 millimeter is equals to 1 what centimeter. So it therefore means that 25 centimeter 25 millimeter, okay, will give us an equivalent of 2.5 centimeters. So whichever you want to use, this is the same conversion factor we will have for this. Okay, so now we're done with this. Now quickly let's go to the second question that we're asked to draw this. Okay, now the second part we want to produce this. Okay, so this is what we want to produce in the second question. So assume that the radii of the given circles are 22 and 26. So because I cannot go less than 25 in my own compass, means I cannot open my compass. So let me explain to you guys what I mean. So what I mean here is that my compass, which is the part where you have the pin and the pencil, so that is the compass here. Okay guys, like I did mention that this my compass here that you can see here, okay, is a replica of this. All right, so this point where you have 0 is where you can hold and rotate. Okay, so this point is this place you can see here. All right, and then this sharp tip is this particular area. Then this point where you have there's a pencil attached here. Okay, so that's where you have this. Okay, so in this case mine is in 2D form, okay, not 3D, right? So I hold at this point, I can move this leg, I can draw this leg into whatever size I want. Okay, so just like you can adjust this point. So these are the legs, okay, call them, so these are the O legs. All right, so you could adjust this to whatever distance. Then you can take this up and measure it on your ruler. So let's assume that I have my ruler here. All right, so you can measure this on your ruler, and then while you transfer your measurement, okay, so from this point you could transfer your measurement to so what you do is that, let's assume that you want to read this measurement off. You could read this going this way. Okay, so this will read on this thing. This is 0, so this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 3.6. okay, so if you want to read this off, you get this to be at 36, and you get it as 36 millimeter, or you get it as 3.6 centimeter. So I have to do this so that you can understand this. I hope you understand this now. So that's the equivalent in case you want to follow alongside what I'm doing in my design, my drawing. So let us quickly go back to the second part we have. So this is what we are expected to draw. Okay, so so this is what we're expected to draw in the second part. Okay, so I'm going to quickly get into that drawing right away. Okay, so in this case now, the distance between the two circles is 100 millimeter. So I'm going to first of all get my ruler. Okay, so I'm going to get my ruler here. So you have your ruler. Okay, you have your ruler with you. So it's important that you get these things. So what we need for this drawing, you need to get your ruler. So the instrument you need to get, okay, so let me state that clearly. The instrument you need is your compass. This is your compass. Okay, this is your compass, and this is your ruler. So this is your compass, this is your ruler. Okay, now, so this is your compass and this is my compass. Okay, and then you need your divider. Probably you need a pencil. So this is your pencil. So this, with these three things, you're good to go. And then you need a drawing paper. You need a drawing sheet, probably A4, it could be A3, it could be A2, whichever precisely that you want to use. Okay, so let's quickly go back to the drawing. So once I have this here, I'm going to draw first of all rumor line that's 100 millimeters. And if I start at point 2, okay, if I start at 2, so if I start at 2, take note what we're doing. If I start at point 2, okay, now in this case, so I'm starting at 2, and then 100, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So don't forget I started from 2, okay? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, okay? So you could see that I started from 2 to 12, that's exactly 100 millimeters. So if I don't want to do that, now you could see that if I move this over here, this is now giving me 10, okay? Which is equivalent of what? 100 that I have. So once I have this, I'm going to now label my point. So I'm going to call this point. So let me call this point. Okay, let me quickly label this point. This is my point A. So I'm going to put a dot here I'm going to put a dot also here. This is my point B, this is my point A. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do quickly now is to draw my circle. So here you could see here that we have 22, but I don't have 22. My distance cannot, my compass cannot open up to 22. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to use 25 here. I'm going to use this to be 25, just like we did in the previous one. I'm going to use this one to be so let me not use 30. Okay, let me use this to be 30. Okay, so if I 20, I added 5 here, so this is 25. So let me make this to be so I added 5, so let me make this to be 32 millimeter. Okay, so I'm going to come back. Yeah, but please, I'm just using this for my own drawing, but in yours please maintain 22 millimeter and 26. Okay, so I'm going to come here and then pick up my protractor. All right, so come to this point and then measure 25. So I'm going to do that quickly. So this is my point 0, and then this is my point. This is 25. 25 is here. So once I've marked it off, I'm going to move it. Okay, I'm going to move this point to here, and then to quickly now draw my first circle. Okay, so I have this circle here. All right, now since I'm done with this, I'm going to move this back over here to read off the second point, which is 32. So I'm going to move this point to make it straight. So let me move this back to make it on the straight line, and then I'm going to read off 32. So 32 will be extended to this point. 32 somewhere is here. Once I've extended to that point, I'm going to move. So I'm going to move my compass to here, point B, and then once I'm at point B, I'm going to also make second circle. Okay, which is a bigger part now. Okay, so and with this, I think I'm done with this. I can keep this at a point. Now what I need to now do, what I need to now create is to get the second part. Okay, so here, this is the first one we did. The first one we did was external. Okay, in external, please take note so you can follow the instruction here. In external we add. Okay, in external we add, so you can see here we add the radius to the radius of the arc. Okay, the radius of the circle plus the radius of the arc. Okay, that's what we'll do. That's for external. We are joining the circle externally, but when we are joining internally, okay, when we are joining internally, we subtract. So you can see here we're going to subtract the circle that we are using to join these two. This thing is 100 millimeter. Okay, so take note of that. Okay, I think I made a mistake somewhere here. So the space was supposed to be 86, but I used 100. So let's go back there, please, quickly, to quickly clean this off. So please let me quickly erase this off, start it over again. All right, now, so quickly I'm going to move this part here, draw a line quickly from here. I'm going to draw a line to 86. Please take note, it's 86 millimeter. All right, so I'm going to do that here, a line from here. So let me move this point down to this point. So let me start from 1. All right, so at 1, 86 is here. So moving from 1 to 86 is still, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 86 is somewhere here. Okay, so now I'm done with that. I'm going to move my pencil off, mark this point. So I'm going to call this point my A. Call this point my A. Call this point my A. Okay, and I'm calling this point my B. So this is my B, my point A. So at point A now, I'm going to come back here to draw my circle. So keep this at this point, rotate this up, So now let's mark out 25. So I'm here, and then I have to draw this to 25 at this point. So once I'm done at that, I'm going to move this over to here, put my pin here, and then make my circle. So from here, I'll draw my circle. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to move it back here, and then recalibrate it. Now I'm using 32, so I'm going to do 32 is here. Okay, that is 3.2 or 32, anyone, 32 millimeter or 3.2. You can use any of that. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to move this point to point B, and then at point B, I'm going to draw my second circle. Okay, now I've gotten these two. Okay, so I'm good. Now we'll have to go ahead to now do the second part, like I told you guys. Alright, so what we need to do now is to, we are given 100. So the radius of arc, so I don't really need to write anything up here because I will need to use this. Okay, so the radius of arc is 100 millimeter. Okay, so radius of A is 25 millimeter. Okay, so 25 millimeter. Radius of B is 32 millimeter. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to subtract this from this. So this will be arrow. So this is the first arc I'm going to draw. My arc 1 is going to be 100 minus 25. That's going to give me 75 millimeter. Okay, my second is going to be 100 minus 32. That's going to give me 78. Okay, that's going to give me 68 to 68 millimeter. So that's what I'm going to use to draw my second distance. All right, so that being said, I'm going to pick up my compass to measure 75 millimeter, which is 100 minus this. So 75 millimeter is going to, so this is the point. I'm at this point and I'm moving this to 75. So this is 75. And at 75, I'm going to move my distance back to point A, and then standing at point A, I'm moving down here to draw my arc. So I have my arc this way. Okay, now I have to come back. All right, on the horizontal path, I can bring this back here to measure 68. So 68 is somewhere here, 68 is somewhere here. So I'm going to move that back over to B, and then at point B, don't forget I subtracted. I'm going to come over to here. So let me get my cut, my arc here. My arc is going to give me this. Okay, so the point where these two circle meet, I'm going to now use that. The point where these two circle meet, I'm going to use that now. So I'm coming back to here to measure my 100, which is what I'm going to use. So let me measure my 100. So my 100 is from 0 to 100. So this is 10. So you could bring this back to make it linear. This is 10. And once I'm done here, I'm going to put that point at the new point where I have these two arc touches at point C. So this is my point C. Okay, this is my point C. All right, so from point C, I'm going to put my pin at point C, and then, all right, at point C, and then I have to draw this circle to touch this point. So you see the circle is touching at this point. Okay, so you see this point. Now I have to change it to a thick pencil. So let's make the arc, so have it here, and then down to this point. All right, so this is what we'll have. Okay, now I say mine didn't touch properly because of my increase in the value, but if you use your own values, you should be able to have the exact thing that we had. Okay, So this is how to make an arc, okay, internally, and this is also how to make an arc externally. So we'll achieve our aim in this drawing. So I hope you understand. Alright, so I can just use this point just to join the rest so that I can understand what happened here. That from here to C, we drew from here to C, and then we also drew from B to this point. Okay, so this is what we did. Okay, so this is what gave us this, and then this point is the radius of the circle, and this other one is the radius of this. So at this point we have the radius here, but arrow. So here we have the arrow was 25, and here arrow was 32 millimeter and 5 millimeter. So this is what we have in this drawing. I hope you able to understand from what you've done so far, okay, how to draw a star and how to join two circles using an arc internally, and then how to join two circles using an arc of radius. So this arc is of radius, so let me give the radius of the arc, please. Okay, now this arc is of radius, so let's have this. So let's have this. Okay, this is of arc of radius, so we'll have this to be the radius. So this radius is given already as r, which is 40. So for the first one we did, all right. So this also we have this to be our radius 2. So for this radius, have it to be just giving the values we are giving. Okay, so we'll have them here. 20, arrow to be 20. Arrow here was 25 millimeter. Now arrow here was 30 millimeter. Okay, so we'll have also this point, which is from this point to this point, gave us the value, and from this point to this point gave us the value. So from this point to this point gave us, from this point to this point here, okay, gave us 25 plus 40. And this point gave us, this point to this point gave us r, which is 30 plus 40. So that's what we use in making this arc to cut at this point. Alright, so guys, so far we're going to stop here, and then we'll pause the video. When we come back, our next lesson, we're going to do this question now. So I'm coming back to do this question with you guys. Alright, stay tuned with us. This is Daniel Maths Academy.